the Opubco Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching The Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson. He's Barry Trammell. We're brought to you by Papa John's Pizza. You can go online right now and order your pizza at papajohns.com. Time for our inbox segment. Questions from your emails answered here on video. Let's get right to it with Danny's question. Danny says, about the prospects of the Thunder getting rid of Kendrick Perkins through amnesty. From a financial standpoint, most of those guys are wealthy, but laying that kind of cash out at one time is probably not feasible. There's a situation in the financial world of being asset rich and cash poor. Wow, it feels like we've launched into a financial show here, Barry.
Yeah, I mean, what Danny is saying is that the Thunder owners can't afford to amnesty Kendrick Perkins, can't afford to pay him to not play, and the truth is they can't afford it. He makes a good point. The Thunder ownership, with the possible exception of Aubrey McClendon, is not a bunch of gazillionaires. They're not, they're not the Nets or the Lakers or people just flush with cash. However, the decision to amnesty Kendrick Perkins would be a business decision. It wouldn't come out of their pockets. It would come out of the Thunder operating fund, the Thunder general fund. The Thunder has made money these last few years. They don't make a ton. They don't make enough. They can just go burn it. They still have to watch what they do, but they're not operating in the red. And if they want to amnesty Kendrick Perkins, they will. They will not decline to do so because of finances.
Yeah, I think that's right, but I don't see them doing it this season. Now, they might next season. I could see it potentially before next year, but I think that requires a continued development of Steven Adams. I don't see him going out and acquiring a veteran center to replace Kendrick Perkins. Maybe they try to do a trade deal, but even then, that seems unlikely with that big salary that Perkins has. Now, it will be an expiring contract next year. That might entice some teams, but still, I think Steven Adams has got to continue to develop, be better than he is now to see them pull that trigger. Now, that may happen, but I don't see it happening yet. I think that's still a ways off, talking about seriously amnestying Kendrick Perkins. All right, back to the inbox. This one from Mitch. Mitch says, I'm happy for Blake Bell, but it would not be the right move to go back to him as a starter. Alabama has few weaknesses, but like most teams, an athletic quarterback can give them fits. The future is Trevor Knight.
Well, I agree that the future is Trevor Knight, but I'm not sure about which quarterback would be the best to beat Alabama, and that's who I would go with if I was Bob Stoops. A mobile quarterback seems like a good fit to play Alabama. We saw a mobile quarterback, Johnny Manziel, tear up the Crimson Tide last year and this year. The option game of Auburn really hurt Alabama this year. On the other end, pocket passer like Aaron Murray tore up the Alabamas last year in the SEC title game. The truth of the matter is, OU has no quarterbacks like Aaron Murray, no quarterbacks like Johnny Manziel, no quarterbacks like Nick Marshall and that Auburn option game. So if I was Bob Stoops, I would figure out which kind of offense is the best fit to try to beat Alabama and go with that.
Well, and I think we're finding out more and more that it's great to want to run that quarterback run game, the zone read, run the option, play like Manziel or Kaepernick or those sorts of guys. It's great to want to do that. But the reason that those quarterbacks are successful, it's not just what they do with their feet, which is really dynamic, but it's what they can do with their arm. They keep defenses honest. And when Trevor Knight's thrown it well, he's been really good as a quarterback for the Sooners. But when he's not able to throw it, he becomes much more one-dimensional, much more easy to stop. So you can never know. Do you know if he's going to have a good day against Bama? There's no way to tell. But if you think he's going to throw it well, maybe you go with Knight. But if he's not going to throw it well, I think Alabama's going to stop that offense without too much trouble. All right, back to the inbox. This one from Bob. He says, I believe Nick Saban at Texas would be great for the Big 12. Steel on steel, ones versus ones. Isn't that what makes everyone better? I believe the SEC overall got better with Saban both times.
I agree. I think in the long run, it would be to OU and OSU's benefit if Nick Saban went to Texas and excelled. Because I think the Big 12 needs Texas to excel, and I think OU and OSU would be. I think they're motivated by better competition. I think what the reader said about steel versus steel, I think that's dead on. I think that you are defined by your competition, and the Big 12 right now is in a lull. The Big 12 has some weaknesses, It needs to get back up. A better Big 12 status, a better Big 12 reputation is good for both Sooners and Cowboys.
I totally agree. You've written about this. I've written about this. The fact that Mac Brown at Texas made Texas better, and that made everything in the Big 12 better, including OU and OSU. Now, if Nick Saban goes to Texas, it may raise, that may raise all boats, but there may be a few people that get some water in their boats. But I think those programs are more likely to be the Iowa States and the Kansases, the programs that are already towards the bottom of the league. Oklahoma State, I think will see a benefit from that. If they were in a position of bottom feeders in the league, then I might be worried about Nick Saban at Texas. But frankly, I think they're in good position, and I think him there, I mean, it'd be scary.
Be some short-term problems, yeah.
But I think long-term it could be really good. All right, back to the inbox. This one from Mac. Wait a second. Bob was our last question. Mac's this question.
It's confusing.
All right, here we go.
And this Mac is talking about Gundy.
Go figure. All right, Mike Gundy just can't beat OU when he played or coached. There's got to be a reason for it other than just luck. Is it passion? Maybe a reason to do a better coaching job when you want to win it more.
Well, I'm going to give Gundy a pass on this. I think he wants to win. I don't think he's unmotivated by Bedlam. I think the fire burns in him. I think he just is presenting a front that, hey, this is not Armageddon. He doesn't want his players to get too high. He doesn't want to throw the entire season into one game. There was a time when, for a lot of OSU people, the football season was a one-game season, and that was Bedlam. It's not that way anymore. Definitely OSU needs to win. Definitely they got to get over this OU jinx or whatever it is. They've lost 10 of 11, including a couple of times when they were the better team. But I don't think it's Gundy's passion necessarily. I think away from the cameras, I think away from the stage, I think Gundy's probably pretty passionate about this rivalry. I think that's a non-starter.
Yeah, I think that's true. But I tell you what, I think fans would like to hear Mike Gundy at least say, apologize almost to the fans. We want to do better. We need to do better. Something like that. It doesn't need to indicate that this is the be-all, end-all, because clearly it's not. This is a program that over the last 5 years has been among the best in the Big 12. So you can't say that it comes down to one game anymore. I think everybody recognizes that. But I think some sort of nod, especially to the fans that are so passionate about this series, to indicate to them, hey, I do care about this and I do want to win this game, and I'm right there with you. I think something like that could go a long way to showing fans just how much Mike Gundy wants this. I'm with you, Barry. I think he wants it just as much as any coach would, but I think sort of indicating that to fans might not be a bad idea either. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.